Hello guys. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Evening, how are you? I hope I find you well. All right. Just a quick one before we move on our next topic for today. I want to hear from you guys. When are you going to write your exams? When are you going to write your exams?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 23rd.
21st.
23.
23. All right. Okay, that's cool. So we still have some weeks. I'm sure we have about 2 weeks from now. All right. And that's not a problem. Okay, thank you. So today, where do we end last on our last meeting? Where did we end? All right. So if you check very well, we have covered a big ground. I'm sure, if I'm not mistaken, we have discussed on the let me open my lessons, informatics one. We have done the decision making, the repetitions, and the for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop. We've covered all this. I'm sure the unit that is left now, it's unit number 7 on methods, right? This unit number 7, we have covered unit 6. Unit 6 backwards. All right. Can someone please confirm I'm audible? Can you can hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I guess I'm clear and loud. So today let's do a quick revision from what we have done. But I want to put my focus mainly on this past exam paper to implement how to draw these patterns, right? Using the for loop decision making that we have discussed on our previous meeting. How exactly do you come up with this, right? So let's do, this was the hardest exam that I see in my life from Mancosa, that I saw from Mancosa. The one which they wrote January 2023, semester 1, right? So let's do this past exam paper. I'm sure we have discussed about this one on Sentinel Loop. So on Sentinel Loop, they've put it together with the do while loop, right? So that's how they'll ask you. They'll try by all means to combine all the concepts into maybe one question, maybe 2 concepts into one question, or maybe just one concept on one question. So I don't know now. If we say we are going to code, I have the answers for this. I want to hear your honest opinion from you guys to say if we want to write this. For me, I have wrote it before, but if we say we are going to write it in this class, it's going to take much of our time, and we will cover a little ground. Or we can just discuss the code, then I will give you the answer. So I want the honest opinion from you guys. What do you suggest so that we can do to write it? If we write it, I can guarantee you that we'll spend the whole lesson maybe on question 1. It's a long code, right? Or we'll just discuss all the code I have. Then after the lesson, I will share with you the answer I have prepared them for already, so that you know each and every, or can discuss each and every line here in class, or not writing literally, but just copy the code I have wrote it before. Then we move faster. Maybe we can do at least 2 past question paper. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think we can do?
Hi,
Yes.
I think we can discuss the questions and then you give us answers and then we go and code ourselves. I mean that for it will help with sharpening our skills also. And then if we encounter any errors, we can always contact you and ask if we make mistakes, I think.
All right. So we should do the discussion using the code that I have wrote before. Then we move fast, right? Then I will share with you the answers after this.
Yes. I also agree with the lady. That's a good suggestion. And also, if you can give us the tips of how we can ensure that we are aware that they asked more than one code on a question.
All right. Okay. No problem. So let's do that. So let's start from question number 1. I think this one we have already read it before. So the first thing, if it maybe the code is hard, but this part we should not by all means fail to do, to say, write an interactive Java program name, right? So this is our name of our program. And before we attempt any question in the exam, it is wiser to say, to read the instruction carefully, like the one that other guys, Informatics 1B wrote before. It was saying on the instruction, include the screenshot of your program. They want to see maybe did you manage to run it, right? So it is wiser to read what the instruction, but in this case they did not specify to say include the screenshot of your code, to say you have compiled it and you have ran it. We want to see what was the result, so that you can see. So whenever they ask you to do that, most of the time you go to the start, you press the start button of your computer, then you type SN, this tool. It's a default tool on on Windows. To those who are using Windows, I'm not aware of the Apple one, but to those who are using Windows, then you click it, right? So whenever you run your program, let me minimize it for now and open this. So this is an exam tip. If they ask you that part, to say, okay, let me run this, enter the height of the maybe 8. Okay, so they want to see this part, right? So what you do is that snipping tool, you come here and say new, then maybe you can crop like this, right? Then you copy, you go to your question. Maybe this is question number 2. This is the code. Then after the code, you say enter, then you you paste like this, right? That's another option. If they ask you that, if they specify to say, provide the screenshot of your of your code. But in this case, they did not mention that, right? Let me see if I have the exam paper for informatics. Let me see. Today. This is informatics 1B. So let me see. Okay. I need to check the past exam paper to see if they have. All right, this one. If you check 3 November 2023, this is the recent one, January intake semester 2. So you see here, they said section B, answer all the questions in this section. Include a screenshot of the output of each program. So here they specify. Hence, you need to utilize this this screenshot. Or some they can use maybe to just press Windows button and the button screenshot PRT CSR at once. It will take the screenshot, then it will save it somewhere in your in your document. Then you need to copy that. I hope on that it's clear. So let's not be confused, guys. And also let's read the questions clearly. So this was for informatics 1B. Let's go back to our business. All right. So we are on this question. Let me open my JGrasp. So,
Sorry, Jay, can I ask something?
yes.
Yes. I just had one of the lectures or one of your guys talking about something, the way we will be writing, it won't allow us to copy and paste.
On your, whenever you are uploading the answers.
Yes, we won't be able to copy and paste. We have to type, or maybe we just maybe upload then whatever, it's a photo or the PDF.
Yes. On your portal, in some cases, they will provide you. Remember, if you read this part, note you are required to submit your answers as a file upload document on Mancosa Connect. So what it means is it means you have your Word on your site, right? And you have your JGrasp, your coding. So you write all your your code here, then you copy as it is like this. Let me open my the one way we have answers that we're going to use.
Okay, what you are meaning is we may be asked to type everything on the web, then upload the whole web document.
Yes, yes.
Oh no, I get it.
Like this, to say this is your you write your code here, then you copy it on on your word like this.
Oh, okay. No, I get
Then
that.
after that, if they specify to say we want to see the screenshot, that's where you copy your screenshot and paste here.
Okay, no, it's clear. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So let's do question number 1. I have the answers, like I said. I have prepared them so that you see to write this. Oh, we can do that, but because of our time, we will not manage to finish all the questions. Let me copy it for question number 1. I will discuss it. Then you come here, you say file, new Java, paste it. Oh, it's taking time to paste. I'm having issues with my laptop or my application. All right, it is. All right, I hope you can all see this. Let me minimize. All right. So our question is saying, write an interactive Java program code. So why is it called interactive? Because you need to interact. It's like a user interface whereby the user has to input something, then it communicates with the user, right? That's why they will use the word interactive. Java program named bank balance do well Java, right? So this is my your name of your your application, bank balance do well. Then you open brackets. So they should they should merge. If you put your cursor here, they should what? They should merge. Right? Then you what? You save. And your file should be the same. Bank balance dual.java should be the same with the name of your what? Of your class, name of your program. Then you save like this. Then you put your what? Your main method like this. Public static bracket. We all know this part. Let's go back. Then the program which make use of what? Of J option paint for input. So by this word, it means we need what? To import. Hence, I did the importation, import javax.swing.j option pen. Right after that, I went on to say the program should request the user to enter an investment amount. Right. So this it means you need to what? To allow the user to use the keyboard. Save. Right, to user to say user, you need to what? To input something using the what? The keyboard. Get the initial investment from the user to say principal string principal input is equal to j option dot show up, enter the initial investment. Right, so whatever I entered on the what? On the keyboard, it's being read as what? As string. I need to convert it. Right, principal amount is equal to double. Hence, I can use the word double here. Double principal amount. I'm now converting. Remember, amount, most cases, it is what? It is commas. Hence, I did not use the variable integer. I used double to cater for what? For decimal numbers. I'm now converting whatever amount that I've what? The initial investment or that I'm depositing. Right? So I want it to do something repetitively. Hence, we are going to use the while loop. But at first, the do while loop, like I said earlier on, the do while loop is the invented while loop. So we are going to do the task at first without doing the comparison, right? We're going to do the task first to say do double. I'm going to calculate the what? The principal. Hence, I'm going to use this formula, the interest, right? For the year what? For the year one. Year one, I have declared it here integer. Year one is equal to 1. So how am I going to do the calculation? Principal, the amount that I've entered, maybe I've entered $50 or 50 rand, I've deposited it. Then I multiply. This is the what? The formula, method.pow. We have this in what? In Java. Method.pow to the power of, this is the interest, right? That I'm going to use. So they did not specify in this case to use to say I use this interest only. So you can put whatever interest that we want. Maybe it's going to 10%, 100%, 200% per year. Hence I use for this I use 1 year 5%. Right? Then I need to ask the user to say, do you want to see the balance for this year? Right? So if you want to see the balance for that year, the choice, if the choice is equal to 1, it will allow the user, it will give to show the message, to show the balance for that what? For that year. After it is calculated using the what? The interest rate. Right? And I'm going to use the if option. If the choice, right? Here, I said, do you want to see the balance for that year? Int choice. I need to convert it to what? To integer. Because the user is I'm going to use the keyboard. Whatever I entered on the keyboard is going to be read what is string. Here I have wrote this line under what? Under one line. I have converted it. What exactly am I converting? I'm converting this part, whatever I'm going to enter within this. Hence, I use a what? A shortcut. Instead of writing 2 lines, I have put everything under what? Under 1 line. Let me do this. Yes. Right. Then after that, to say the choice, I'm going to make a decision using the if statement. Sorry. Then the choice to say, if the choice I have entered, if it's 1, if it's equal to 1, the operational relational operator, the Boolean operator of mine now is what? If choice is equal to 1, show this what? The balance after doing the calculations here, right? Else, if it's not equal to 0, we need to handle the what? The if it's not equal to 1, we want the user to say, please enter 1 so that you can see the what your next balance for the next year, right? So here we are going to use what we call like a sentinel, right? If choice is not equal to 0, show message. We want to input the user to say this is not the correct what number that you have entered or the correct button that you have pressed. Please allow the user to input another value, which is 1, right? Enter 0 to exit or 1 to continue, so that you can see the balance. Then after that, the if statement, we now do the while year, right? Our year is what? It's 1, is greater than 0. It continues now to iterate to go to the year. Our year is 1. It goes to another year 2. Then it goes again. If you press 1, right, it repeatedly do the same thing. So let's try to run this to see if we have any problem. Your initial investment, maybe you can enter 100, right? You have deposited 100, right? So do you wish to see the balance for the next year? This part, right? So enter 1 to see the balance for the next year. You have deposited your $100. I press 1. This is my my balance. It is done the calculation, the 5%. Okay, then you press it. Year 2, the while loop now. It has incremented this year, the incrementation year. We are going to year 2. Then we press 1 again. Using the same interest. It's being incremented again and again and again. So if you want to terminate, you press 0. 0, it should end. Okay, it seems like it's not terminating, but however, it's working nicely. Let me enter another number, which is not 0, to see if it can handle this. Okay, invalid input. Where are we getting this message? Here, to say we have entered a number which is out of 1 or 0, hence invalid. You should enter only 1 do you want to see after 3 years the balance? So it keeps on incrementing, increasing, using this interest. So I would like you to go and maybe just have an appreciation on what is going on here, because the simplest part that you need to get for you to understand this question, you need to break it down to say, okay, I have write this, I have imported everything. Hence, the user should input the initial investment. You may not be aware of using the double. It's fine. You can use even the integer, right? But for me, I understand that you can import something like 5.99 into your account. So hence I use the double option, the double variable. If you write this part exactly as it is and you convert it, now they have specified again to say use the do while loop, right? So the do while loop, the secret is you are not comparing at first. You are first executing. to do the operation. Hence, you open your brackets. You need to understand the code, the do while. Then you open your curly brackets and you do everything now to say, what exactly am I going to do? The interest has to be to be calculated. I have inserted the principal, right? This is the balance that I have. I have maybe deposited $50. That principal, it needs to increase. Maybe the difficult part was going to be this part, this formula. But for someone who thinks out of the box, you can easily say principal times you need to cater for each and every year. Hence, I'm going to add 1 here, 0.05%. You can even use the 15%, 20%, whatever percentage that you think about. So this question specifically requires us to think outside the box, to say, do you know how to calculate the interest? After the interest, you need to come up with the principal for each and every year. So that's how this code works. All right. Let's move on to another question. Question number 2. So this question number 2, for you to continue producing this, they've given us a hint, but in some cases they will not even give you a hint to say print this maybe these stars, these patterns, maybe a square root, a pyramid, or a triangle. They will not give you that hint to say use the for loop. But in this case, they've given us a hint to say use the for loop to print this part, right? So let me show you how did I come up with the answer. Let me copy it as it is. Then I say new Java. Then I need to save number line triangle. All right. So here my code says, write an interactive Java program named number line triangle.java. So this alone need to give you maybe a mark, which uses the J option. Hence you need to input. It's an interactive. There's a communication between the user and the computer. The program should ask you to input the height base of a triangle. Whatever you input on the keyboard, you need to convert it to integer. Hence, we are using the integer because the height, there's no way we can put decimals, commas. We are strictly using the integers, right? So let us do that. Import JavaX since it's being interactive. Then public class, you declare the name of your class, number line triangle. Then you put the main method like this, right? So for now, ignore this int base. Ignore it for now. So we want the user to input the height of the of the triangle. Hence, we are going to say string base input is equal to J option enter height of a triangle, maybe 5. Then to allow now you have entered 5, convert that to integer. We are saying maybe an integer. For now, just maybe forget this. I'll show you where it comes from because I don't want you to cram this. Then we have converted it, right? Okay. So system.out.println, you have entered the height of here we are simply displaying the height that you have entered. Then we want to use the for loop now, right? So this for loop, what it does is, remember, you need to declare the for loop as it is the syntax, right? So the for loop, like I said earlier on, acts the same way as the while loop, but everything is under under one line. You declare your variable, you initialize your variable int I is equals to 0. You want to count from 0, right? Or to iterate from what? From 0. Remember, Java index from 0. It doesn't, maybe, yes, you can start from 1, but in most cases, it index from 0, right? Hence we say int I is equal to 0. I less than or equal to base. Where are we getting this base? The one that we've entered. Maybe we've entered 5 to say this 0. I have say 0 is less than or equal to what? To 5, right? Then increment. So what happened here is you write your what? Your code like this. You want to get now to print the columns. Here we are dealing with the rows, the outer row of your what? Of your program, of your code, right? We now want to print this what? These columns. We are starting from what? From these rows. The outer for loop is for rows. The inner is for columns. Hence, we need to have the two or the nested for loop, the one inside the other, so that you can print this pattern. So every pattern, this is a secret. Every pattern should have nested for loop, at least 2 for loop. The one which caters for the rows and the one which caters for the what? For the columns. Rows and what? And columns. Right? Then the inner one, the one for the what? For the columns. This is for the what? For the rows. Then it says, you now declare again, J, it starts from 0. Is equal to 0. Then J, 0 is less than or equal to I. I, where are we getting our I? We are using the what? The outer, the row for loop. Then we do what? We do the increment, right? So here is the secret. System.out.print J. We are starting to print the what? The column, right? After the column, here there is only print. Why did I put only print? Not putting print line. Print, it prints in a what? On the same what? On the same line, like a column. But this system.out.print line, it says go to the next line. It will skip from here and say go to the next what? To the next line. For this what? Outer row or outer for loop. Right? So this is where everything is happening here. Print, you are catering for the rows, for the columns here. Print only. Then this one, print line, it's going to the what? To the next line. It's printing the each and every next line. But here, it's only printing within that line. Hence, print only. But print line, we're saying go to the next line. Print line, it prints every row, right? So let's do that. Let's run it. Okay. Enter the base or height of the what? Of the triangle. We are on line number what? Line number 8 here. Then I have to enter it, maybe 5. Then I say okay. Let me see. Here, you have entered the base of you have entered the height depth base of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But remember, Java starts from what? We want this 0. It starts from indexing 0. Right? Hence, we have to include that part. Right? So we are printing this. It prints this, it prints this, it prints this for this part only. it goes to the next line, However, this part now, j less than or equal to I, is therefore what? 1. It prints 1. Then we go back here. It prints what? This line. But here, it now goes to print 2. We go back here to the outer loop. It increments up until it prints all those what? All those rows until we come up with what? With that. So with this code, there's what we call code reusability in Java. You don't necessarily need to go back. Maybe they say write a code that will print a pyramid, right? You don't need to rewrite again. We need to play with this part. Write a hello in triangle. You need to play with this code, right? This is the secret of what? Of all patterns. We use the nested for loop. Whatever you want to print using the what? The patterns, we use this code, but you now need to play around it so that you come up with what? With the specific requirements of that question. All right. I hope it's clear to everyone. Do you have any questions before we move on? Okay. This one, question number 3, I'm sure we have done it in this lesson, so we are not going to do it. We have, I'm sure in one of our recordings, we have this paper. We have done this question. So because of our time, we're going to skip it. To those who did not attend the part, we can't repeat it. We have discussed about this, but however, we have it in our. I'm sure I have question number 3. We're not going to. When remember when we did the while loop, I'm sure we did this part. Some of you guys who can agree with me, we did question number 3. Because question number 3, I still remember I said it came on different what? This is what 20 June 2022, and it came again here last semester, which is, so they repeat this question 21 June 2023. Here they gave you again, it's same question. So I think we have done that part. But however, I'm going to share with you the what? The code. So you never know. I'm not going to say cram this paper. I'm not good at spotting. Please, it's just revision. Maybe next week we can do another one so that you can have an appreciation on different exam papers. Okay, so let's move on to question number 4. Question number 3, we've done it. Let's do question number 4. The hello right angle triangle.java. Okay, so remember, it's also in an interactive Java program named hello right angle triangle.java, which uses the J option. So they are giving you the hints already. It uses this. You need to import. The program should ask you to input a character of your choice, as well as the height, right? So it has, the user has to what? To input 2 things, a character as well as the what? The height. The character can be any character, e.g. a star, an integer, a letter, a sign, etc. When the character has been entered by the user, the program should echo using the system.out.println. So they are testing you 2 things to say, do you know the J option? Do you know also the what? The system.out.println, which will output the result on what? On this below part, on this command here, the system.out.println. Right? But the J option will print only what? On a separate console. output scheme the words you have entered the character this according to the character entered. After that, the program should ask you to enter the what? So you first need to enter the character. Then secondly, you need to enter the height, maybe or 10 or whatever. Once the height has been entered, the program should then draw or output a right angled what? Triangle made of the chosen character just entered as shown. So here they've used the what we call it extra. Yeah. All right. Or you can use numbers, or you can use letters, or you can use this. It all depends with it. But they've given us what a screenshot, right? A snippet of what you can utilize. So I've already wrote this for you. You're going to see that that same code that we have done, we are going to, for the patterns, it's one or the same thing. Let me copy as it is. Copy as it is. New Java, then I paste it. Then what needs to be done is we need to save it. All right. Let's go through line by line. Line number one, this is obvious. Line number two, we declare what? Our class, our main method we have. Then variables. Remember, we need to use the variable, a character. Here they've specified to use a what? A character, right? So a character in Java, a variable character, we use this word car, then the variable name is character, or you can give it any name that you want. But for documentation, for readability, you give it a meaning, a variable name should have what? A meaning. Then int height, right? So where is it coming from? All this coming from? Yeah, you are going to see that string. I need to enter what? A character of my choice. Then I need to convert it, right? Character int car character is equal to car input dot car at 0. That's how we convert it into character. Here, if we entered it on keyboard, it's being understood as what? As a string. We now need to convert it into character, real character. We use this what? Convention. Character, character is equal to character input here that we have entered here. We are converting it dot car at, we put 0 here. So this is what? Default. It's already known. Okay. System.out, you have entered the what? The character. Then it what? It will pop out the tab of the character that you what? You have input here. Then want to input the what? The height. String height input. We have entered the height. We now need to convert that height into what? Into integer. Integer that pass int height that we have what? We have entered here. We have converted it here. Now we want to draw the what? The Halloween triangle, right? Using the what? The nested for loop. For int I, we declare what? Your variable. Int I, we are starting from what? From 1. I less than or equal to height. Then we increment the I. Then for the inner. For what? For the columns. Int J, you can use any character or you can use W, but the most common ones, these are the what? I, J, K, etc. For int J is equal to 1, J is less than or equal to 1, you increment. But within that, we need to create a Halloween, right? So if you put your Boolean expression here, you remember we've done this, J is equal to 1, or J is equal to 1, or I, So J is equal to I, oral. So this sign is it simply means oral, right? I is equal to what? To height. System.out.println the character. Else, put the what? The space only. So the code, the real code of the way this problem was solved is here. You need to master this part, or how is it happening? So we put the what? The space here. Let's run it. Let's put our character of our choice. I can put a $sign. Now we want to put the height. I can say 10 on line number 12 here. Then I say okay. So this is my what? My output, like this, right? So in the case that they've asked you to say we need a screenshot, like I said earlier on, no, you press your start button like this, then you type SN, it will pop out, you open, you say new, then you crop like this, then you just copy. Then you do what? After you code here, you paste like this. So there is no way that maybe you all put this a $sign, but so that's how maybe they can see that you are copying each other. So in most cases, if they say you want to screen your screenshot, they are there to say, are you not copying each other? So if you put something like unique like this, it shows that you've come up with your own with your own program. Again, another important thing is I would recommend you guys to comment in your in your start guide, in your whenever you are writing your like what I'm doing here. I'm putting these comments so that even the one who is going to mark for you will appreciate to say this student knows what they are doing. And it also improves the the readability of your of your code. Then the last question, question number 5, it says write an interactive Java program named nested student marks with methods and parameters. Okay, so this part we haven't covered it with methods, right? That's our our last part on the start, guys. Methods, unit number 7. We're going to discuss it, but basically what methods are, there's no way I'm going to simplify it. They allow code reusability, right? They allow code reusability. So I'm going to create a few notes for you, just a summary of what are methods. Why do we have methods in Java? Examples of methods, right? For instance, show message dialog. It's a method. Where is that method coming from? We have declared it in JOption. So whenever we say import JOption pane, we want to use this method. Show message dialog, show input dialog. We are simply calling them, right? So you can use them multiple times, but they have already defined somewhere under this class. Hence, we are importing them. So next meeting, we are going to discuss on methods, but there's no much about methods. You need to know how to declare a method, the syntax of, you can write our own methods to say, I want my methods to store this. Whenever I want that, I will simply call it. I will simply call the name of the of the method. Then it will have all the functionalities. Let me see if they've used it here in your, do you have an example? Okay, like this to say, okay, let me see. So you can put your parameters in your method. Okay, like this. This is a method. You need to know the syntax of a method to say public static void the name of your of your method. You can give it any name that you want. Then you put your open brackets or close bracket, then you put these curly brackets, and your code will do something. Then you can put something within your code, parameters, to say integer A, integer B. Then here you say return, to say 5 plus 5, add int A plus int B, right? So whenever you want the addition of this in your code, you don't necessarily need to say to start to declare int A, int B. You simply say do something, then you open your brackets, you put maybe or 10 or 15, right? You put maybe 5 or 3, you put maybe 20 or 5. You don't necessarily need to start to say int 5, int 10, 8. You are simply reusing to say, I don't want to use 5 and 3. You can use 20 or 10. It all depends with, so it provides the concept of what? Code reusability. That's simply on what? On methods. I will discuss more on when we meet on our next meeting. All right. We want to move a little bit fast. So this is what we want on question number 5. We're going to do it next meeting. Then let's move on to another question paper. Do we still
Sorry,
have time?
Jasper. Will you be able to share this with us? This
Yes.
question paper and answers. Will you
Yes,
share it
I'm
with
going
us?
to do that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Because of our time, guys, let me simply share with you. Then next week, same time, we meet again. We do this question paper and number. So what I'm going to do is we're going to finish this paper on our next meeting. Then after we finish this paper, we want to finish to go back and do the methods. All right, I'm going to share with you the answers in the question paper. So we are going to do this question paper, the discussion. However, I'm going to give you again the answers for this, but we need to discuss them here in class. If we have any questions, we will ask. If we need any discussion, we'll do them, but I'm going to offer you the answers for this question paper. Then after we finish, we need to do this what? The methods, because 5.2, it has also the concept of what? Of methods. Juliet, you have a question?
Hi, Jasper. Can you please share again the method for question 5? I just want to practice it after this class.
All right.
The code, please.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you.
I'm going to send through. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let's meet next week, same time.
Thank you.
Thank
Will you just let us know when you're sharing those documents,
Thank
please?
you.
All right. I'm going to do that.
Thank you, sir.